Good day, everyone. My name is Marc-Andre Pelletier. I'm President CEO of Bonterra Resources. Bonterra is a junior gold exploration company. We're located in the north of Quebec, near Le Bel-sur-Quevillon, with a very large resources of gold, over 3 million ounces. We basically have two main deposits, the Barry and the Gladiator deposit, and we are located in a very strategic land package, which is called the Urban Barry Camp. We also have infrastructures. We have a mill, 800 tons per day capacity is on Carrot Mainlands. We have tailings management area, and we also have mining camps.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming around. Well, thanks for making time for us. I know it's busy out there. We're here, obviously, at Beaver Creek. Lots of people. Are you having good meetings? Do you think it's a good conference?
It's, as you know, Matthew, it's very, very difficult time for the market and everything. But I think it's a very good conference. It's perfect timing to meet with our shareholders and possible investors, since we have launched financing at the end of the market on Monday. So it's good time to promote the company and hopefully get new investors.
There's a lot going on, and it's kind of a few buttons I want to press during this conversation, just to remind people. Okay, so we haven't spoken for a while. Okay, you've come in from West. I mean, tell people a little bit about your background.
Mining engineering. So I got over 25 years of experience in gold, underground, open pit, environment, Quebec, Ontario, New Brunswick. So I'm a hands-on guy. When you look at my pedigree, I've mostly open, closed mine or new projects. So that's kind of my background. And when I made the decision to join Bonterra last year, I kind of see that I could add value to the company, because the company has infrastructures, the mill, large resources. So I thought that my experience will...
There's a lot going on there, but it was a bit of history. It was maybe a little bit untidy. You kind of come in to sort things out. So you're right. Let's talk about, remind people again, what you walked into and what the plan is.
The plan was to restart production, and we spent quite a bit of energy and diamond drilling as well, technical studies, to start the production at one of our assets. We had the bootstrap approach: start small, grow the business, generate revenue, keep exploring, and grow the production. So we did look at the Barry deposit first. Why? Very simple. There's a mining lease in place because of the mine used to produce about 50,000 ounces there. So mining lease is in place. We have measured, indicated, which can be converted as reserve. So we have done a PEA on the open pit that was published mid-year last year. And we started the PFS, but as we were getting... The whole idea with the PFS was to de-risk the project. So we gathered more information on the capital costs, operating costs, and one thing we noticed is a significant increase of operating cost in the Abitibi region. 50% to 100%. So it's unbelievable.
Untenable.
Yeah, and we decided to put the project on a pause because it did not make sense to start a project in that type of environment.
Okay, but let's look at what you've got, because the market's valuing you at somewhere between 20 and 25, right? It's unbelievable, I know, but that's the reality of the situation.
Would you buy an ounce today at $6 US?
Yes, I would, especially if there's 3 million of them.
So you have to buy some shares of Bonterra.
I know, but well, it's really a case of what you can do to unleash that value, okay? It's a tough market for everyone. We've had people sitting here at 25% of their 1 year high. It's really tough out there, and there's no common sense to it either, okay? But it is what it is, and I'm interested in speaking to you guys, CEOs, and say, what are you going to do about it, right? So we're raising some money, but you announced it on Monday. You're raising how much and to do what?
Mm-hmm. So we launched a financing to 3 to 5 million Canadian. The shares will be at 17 cents per unit. And we also offer half of a warrant at 24 cents.
Right.
And we have some flow-through obligation to meet by the end of this year. So we have to spend that money in exploration. We've done quite a bit of work, Matthew, on cutting costs, generating a little bit of revenue from the gold sales of the mill cleanup and some other things that we've been working on. But we really need to achieve that drill program before the end of the year in order to meet our obligation. Okay. So that's the main purpose of the financing.
Okay, and let's segue over to the mill cleanup. Mill cleanup is literally vacuum cleaner in hand, sucking up dust,
yes.
which contains gold.
Yes.
You've monetized some of that already. What did you get for that?
600 ounces.
Right. That's converted
to 1950, so US, so 1.6 million CAD. So right. It's good. You know, it's hard money. It's fresh money for the company.
Not bad for hoovering. And much more to come?
It's hard to say. I wish a lot of people ask me, and I never made any commitment because it's just difficult to get.
But there is a phase. You've done a phase A. There is a phase B.
Correct.
Okay.
It's at the refinery as we speak.
Okay.
We're hoping, honestly, 1,500 ounces would be total. Would be very nice.
Okay.
Well received. So
I bet. I bet. Cross fingers.
Yeah.
We are okay. So, funny enough, you've probably got more money in the bank now than you did last quarter.
Yeah, because we were managing our costs. Don't forget, we had forest fires as well.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's talk about that. That's hampered everyone's. People have shipped out and moved out because it's a very, very dangerous situation. Correct. But it's also stopped people moving forward on exploration or
exactly
on the ground.
Over 6 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
So during that period, there's always an opportunity. You know, when things happen, tough market, forest fires, our geology team took the time during that time. There was no drill turning, to look back at some of the historical hits that was done in the past. And we went back to like 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. We've done some good drilling and some good results, but we haven't done any follow-up. So we put together a program for the rest of the year, 13,000 meters.
Okay.
And we are going to follow up on some of those targets that we just left by.
And what type of drilling is that? Because I get the flow through, the need to spend it by the end of the year, so a bit of money from the mill, and obviously raising some capital. What type, 13,000 meters of what type of drilling and where? What do you go for?
Yeah, there's a word we use in our industry called wildcat. Mm-hmm. So a wildcat drilling is go think a little bit outside the box. You know, you put the theory together, based on the geophysics, based on the earth circle work, and then you say, well, let's try that. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a wildcat drilling. It's
based on something. It does sound wild, and I'm not sure I'm comfortable with
so
wild.
What we're trying to do, basically very simple.
Yeah.
We want to test our current deposit at depth.
Right. Okay.
So go like 500 meters away and go deep.
Right. Proper step out.
And test.
Yeah.
So that's kind of wildcat drilling.
Right. And is that based on anything? Is there any data driving that in terms of the target?
The main thing is our knowledge we acquired from it's the down plunge of the deposit. There's something very common in the urban berry camp is that about 30 degrees down plunge at depth. So here's the Gladiator deposit. So we think it keeps going at that plunge, and then you test deeper. We also want to test, so we want to expand our resource in our current deposit, but we also want to test some of those targets hits that I mentioned. We have a lot. Believe it, we have a lot. They all have funny names, but one is Titan, which is about a kilometer east to Gladiator. Mm-hmm. Been some drilling, some good hits there. We want to test that deeper. It's the same rock than Glan. It could be a twin there. Could be a twin.
Right.
So here you go. We're going to test it.
Okay. So tell me the thinking between infill drilling, which just obviously improves the certainty around what you've got, and like small step outs, and maybe bringing inferred into indicated category, versus actually I want to go make a new discovery. A new discovery is going to be better for us as a company. So the market seems to reward discovery. Is that what you're basically aiming for?
Well, let's say I'm giving you an example on Barry deposit. It's 650 meters deep. So it's not deep in terms of exploration, mining. It's not deep at all. So how about if we drill a hole at 850, 900 meters depth, and you still hit the mineralization? So that gives you indication that between the 650 meters depth to 850, there's a big corridor there to fill. So that's what when you do drilling to convert your inferred into indicated, and so. But at least you have indication that it keeps going out.
Right, but that's not. You wouldn't necessarily label that as a new discovery. Then that's just a really case of
a continuation.
Continuation, right? Okay.
But we could potentially discover a new zone at depth as well.
Okay.
It could be something different there. Could be maybe the ore body opens up, and get more thickness. So.
Yeah.
And in terms of new discovery, we are on the wetland, so the interpretation is based on geophysics, MAC survey, IP survey. So they look at it. They look at the regional faults, some of the historical work that has been done, and they made their interpretation and they drill. So
tell me this, right? Because I've seen a lot of companies coming through the door this week, where they've each had to maybe adjust and adapt to their plans from a year ago or even 2 years ago because the market has just crushed everyone, right? You've got a huge camp with a lot of infrastructure. You're in the right place. You're surrounded by the right people. Mm-hmm. The market says, 20, 25 million. To someone else, this is worth a lot more than that.
It's the perfect opportunity for new investors to come in at the current price. Their stock. It's the perfect. So it's an opportunity for new investors to come in and hopefully make some good money.
Right, but your job is still you've got to be at the table to play the game, right? So your job is to say we're going to keep this. There's been a very long downward cycle. This is 3 years for gold in this down trough we're in at the moment, and it feels kind of close to getting back to some sort of sense of normality, but it's not there yet. Your job is going to keep at the table, as it were. But you've got to be defensible, right? So we obviously saw, I think we talked about it before, Cisco Mining, Goldfields transaction in and around where you're at. And you've got to be defensible and kind of attractive at the same time. Mm-hmm. You want people to like you, but you don't necessarily want to give it away at these prices, right?
So basically, we're trying to expand our resource, find a new deposit, but we're also looking at strategic alternatives.
Right.
Which could be a partnership, an equity investment with a new shareholder or a joint venture. So we are looking at that. We've been working on that. We think if we could bring a new partner in a GV partnership or something like that, we would add value. We got to keep adding weight, add value. And we think because the Urban Barry camp has been such underexplored, if we could find the right partner that share the same vision, that, okay, let's see if we can increase the resources at 3 million to 6 million ounces and find a couple new deposits, we could eventually get 6 to 10, So that's the kind of the vision we have, and we are looking for any strategic alternatives at the moment.
Right, okay.
So hopefully that we get the right partners, maybe share the same vision so we can, unlock the value of the Urban Barry camp. We're also drilling at Bachelor, which is where the mill is located. And what's interesting there is the Bachelor and the Moray deposit is on the west side of the big intrusive. It's something regional. But you look on the east side, on the other side, there's no drilling has been done. Nothing. So we have a drill rig currently at Bachelor. Mm-hmm. The beauty there is the mill is 500 meters away. So if we could find something there close to surface, then again, we could add significant value. So we hope for the best. We put this very small program in place, and we hope we're going to be successful. So, but we did our homework, so we have the right target. So looking to meet with you again in a few months and have some good news.
We will. Well, yeah, I look forward to that. I mean, you should get out there and start telling that story, because they say at $6, that's cheap. I think there's a lot of companies coming through here who spend 3 times that just binding it. So, yeah, it makes sense. Appreciate your time, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. And don't forget the chess game.